Good morning, traders. Sorry, starting the class a little bit late. Good morning, guys. I believe you can hear me loud and clear. Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear. How are you doing today? 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 Mr. Raphael, Mr. Abdul, Mr. Richard. Good morning. How are you doing today? Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Please start dropping your questions. If you have any question, please drop your questions. If there's any pair you're considering trading today, let's look at it together. Drop it in the comment section. I was trading yesterday. I gave a signal on Euro USD and GBP USD. Unfortunately, the market went against my prediction. So I took a loss yesterday. How were you? How did you manage the trade yesterday? Those of you who executed the trade, how did you manage the trade? I want to believe you all should be out of that trade now. If you took a sell yesterday, you should be out of that trade now. How did you manage the trade yesterday on Euro USD or GBP USD? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? GBP USD, how did it go? Ebuka, how did it go? I would like to know which pair you traded yesterday and how did it go? Did the trade hit your SL or TP? I would like to know. I'd like to know. Mr. Debayo. Okay. Mr. Debayo, good morning. Please, if there's any pair you are considering trading today and you want me to analyze it, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's start by looking at the calendar. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, 17th of June. Okay, good. Ebuka, congrats. Okay, so today is Tuesday, June 7th. 2 minutes, guys. Let me. So JPY policy rate has been released, and you can see that the forecast and the actual is the same thing. You can see the forecast and the actual is the same thing. It's the same thing. So this is neutral for JPY. This is neutral for JPY. Okay, this is neutral for JPY, and by Euro released on German economic sentiment. This is a medium impact news, and the actual is higher than the forecast. This is positive for Euro. This is positive for Euro. Then by 1:30, core retail sales will be released from the United States. I would advise that you wait for this news. If you're considering trading USD pairs, I would advise you wait for this news to be released before you take a trade on USD pairs. Wait for this news to be released by 1:30. 1:30, okay? Wait for the news to be released before you trade the dollar pairs. I hope that is clear. Unless you have an open trade on USD pairs. If you have an active trade on USD pairs, just manage the trade. Manage the trade. If you are in profit before the news is released, you should trail your stops. Okay? If you are in good profit before the news is released, trail your stops. Okay? Or adjust your stop loss to break even. Okay, so let's go to the charts. So let's start by looking at dollar index. My bias for dollar still remains bullish. Okay, my bias for dollar still remains bullish. For today, it's bullish. For the week, my bias still remains bearish for the dollar. Okay, but I would like to see dollar pull back to this level. So you can see yesterday candle. Okay, no, last week yesterday candle. So you can see yesterday candle. You can see what played out yesterday. Price tested this support level. It tested this support level, and there was a strong rejection from that level. And I think we had a fair value gap here after this bullish candlestick formed. Okay, I think we had a fair value gap, and I think that gap has been filled. Okay, so you can see it on a 4-hour time frame. You can see the fair value gap here. You can see the fair value gap here. So that gap has been filled, and the market is trading above that gap. Okay, so this is a buy setup. This is a buy setup. Okay, and this is my expectation on dollar. You can see this relative equal high. This is an area of liquidity. There's a high probability they will come clear these highs, okay, before going bearish. So this is where I will be considering selling the dollar this week, this zone. This is where I will be considering selling dollar this week. Okay, this is where I'll be considering selling dollar this week. But at the moment, my bias is bullish. I want to see dollar pull back to clear the liquidity residing this previous high and also fill this fair value gap before going bearish on the dollar. So my bias today is bullish on dollar. I hope that is clear. Okay, GBP gold, GBP USD. Okay. Okay, so that's my take on dollar. Okay, that's my bias for dollar today. Buy dollar. Okay, let's see yen basket. Okay, so this is yen basket. Let's start with the daily. I think yesterday was strongly bearish on the yen. It closed bearish yesterday. Let's see, it closed bearish yesterday. Okay, and I think yen is still bearish. Okay, yen is still bearish. We had a fair value gap here. Okay, you can see we had a fair value gap here, which was in confluence with this support turn resistance. You can see this support turn resistance. We had a fair value gap here, and price broke out from this support, and it broke out from this what's it called, this fair value gap. This fair value gap now is inverted. This is an inverted on fair value gap. You can see, and the market is trading below this zone. So this is a sell setup on USD on yen basket. This is a sell. Let's see for our, so at the close of yesterday, we had a fair value gap here. Can you see this fair value gap? We had this fair value gap, and that gap has been filled. You can see this fair value gap has been filled. You can see, and you can see the pattern that formed after the fair value gap got filled. This is a bearish reversal pattern. Let's see it clearly on 1 hour. You can see what we have on 1 hour. You can see this is a shooting star. Can you see that? This is a shooting star. And I think after the formation of this shooting star, if you go down to lower time frame, I think a fair value gap was created, and that could be the reason for this pullback. Okay, I think a fair value gap was created on a lower time frame, and that could be the reason for this buy candle. Let's just confirm on lower time frame. Can you see that on lower time frame? Can you see the fair value gap on 15 minutes time frame? Can you see it? This is the fair value gap. Can you see it? So that is the reason for the pullback. And after they filled that fair value gap, what pattern do we have here? This is a engulfing. This is an engulfing pattern. Can you see that? This is an engulfing pattern. So yen today is bearish. So if you're considering trading JPY pairs, you should be looking for buys. If you're considering trading JPY pairs, you should be looking for buys. Okay, so that's my take on USD on JPY, sorry, yen basket. Okay, so let's look at GBP. Okay, Euro USD, USD JPY. That's from Mr. Abubakar. Okay, please, if you have any question, drop it in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's look at GBP USD and Euro USD. GBP USD. Okay, so I think since the market opened today, GBP USD has been bearish. Euro USD has been bearish. Let me see. A few minutes. Few minutes, please. 3581 3621. Okay. Wow. So this was the trade I took yesterday. I sold GBP USD. My entry was 3581. 3581. A few minutes. How do I change this value here? Okay. This color. 35. 3581. This was my entry yesterday. Yeah, this was my entry. And my stop loss was 3621. 3621. So you can see immediately my stop loss got cleared. My stop loss was used as liquidity. You can see immediately my stop loss got cleared. The market started going in my direction. You can see that my prediction was right, but my entry, the timing was wrong. My execution timing was wrong. You can see that. You can see that they just 3621. The high of this candle is just the high of this candle is 3623. Can you see that? Just 2 pips above my SL. You can see, and the market is now going in my direction. Okay, you can see that. So I actually took a sell trade. I took a sell trade after, I think on 4 hour, I took another sell trade. Yeah, after the formation of this candle. Yeah, I took a sell trade, and that one is in profit. This one is in profit. So that's my take on GBP/USD is still bearish. Okay, I expect GBP/USD to drop to this. It should get, okay, it should get to this zone. That's my expectation. Okay, that's my expectation on GBP/USD. It should come fill this fair value gap. Okay, this low is an area of liquidity, which I'm sure there's a high probability they will come for this low. And after clearing or sweeping the liquidity residing at this previous low, there's a high probability they will come and fill this gap. And they could also push price down to this level. Okay, technically, retail sales will be released by 130. Retail sales will be released by 130. So if retail sales is positive for the US, we should expect more sales. If retail sales is positive for the dollar, then we'll see more sales on GBP USD. So that's my take on GBP USD. Look for sales. Okay. Technically, GBP USD should sell to this zone. This is where I'll be considering buying Euro USD. Sorry, GBP USD. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. So let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD. Few minutes, guys. Okay, so this is a nice top on GB. What am I? Okay, so see what played out yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. So what they did yesterday was to clear the liquidity residing at the previous high. You can see that's why it's very important that you wait for liquidity to be swept before you take a trade. For example, if your buyers yesterday was sell, would have waited for price to come clear the liquidity before taking a sell, or set your stop loss several pips, maybe 5 pips above the previous high. Okay, so always wait for, if your buyers was buy, if your buyers yesterday was buy, you would have waited for the liquidity that was residing at the previous low, which was Friday low. You would have waited for that low to clear before you buy. If your buyers was sell, wait for price to clear the liquidity, the buy side liquidity, before you sell. Okay, so let's go down to 4 hour. So you can see what we have on 4 hour. This is a sell setup, you can see. So this is a sell setup. GBPUSD should sell, and I think GBPUSD is going to drop to this zone. This is where I will be looking for buys on GBPUSD. There's a high probability they will come clear the liquidity residing at this previous low before going bullish. Okay, so below this low, we have this fair value gap. So that could be the next draw on liquidity on Euro USD. Okay, unless the retail sales data comes out negative for the dollar. If it comes out negative for the dollar, Euro USD can just keep buying from the current market price. But technically, Euro USD should sell to clear the liquidity, sweep the liquidity residing at this previous low, and also fill this fair value gap. That's my expectation on Euro USD. Okay. So that's it for Euro USD and GBP USD. USD JPY, okay, that's from Mr. Abu. USD JPY. USD JPY. So like I said, yen is bearish. Yen is bearish, so we should look for buys on USD JPY. Okay. Since yen is bearish, dollar is bullish, then we should look for buys on USD JPY. I hope that is clear. So yesterday candle closed strongly bullish, and there was a little rejection after price tested this resistance level. Okay, price tested this resistance level, and there was a little rejection, and the market is trying to break out from that resistance. So a breakout from that resistance be a confirmation to buy. Let's say 4 hours broken out. Okay, so 4 hour I think has broken out. Was this yesterday candle? Okay, this was on 16th. This was first candle for today. Okay, first candle for today. So I think the previous 4 hour candle closed. It closed above that resistance level. So price is currently at a resistance zone. 4 hour candle closed above that resistance. Okay, so it created a level of liquidity here, this low. Okay, I think this was used to clear. You can see this candle was used to clear the low of the Asian session. This was the low of Asian session. This 4 hour candle was used to sweep the liquidity residing at this previous low, and below this low we have a fair value gap here. Okay, and since our buyers is buy, if you're looking for buy, you want to set your stop loss at this level. Your stop loss should be below this relative equal low. That is where you should set your stop loss. It should be below this relative equal low. So you could set your stop loss at this level. That's about 65 pips. 65 pips. Okay, your stop loss should be at this level. So if that risk is too high for you, if 65 pip is too high, is too much. Personally, I think 65 pip risk is too high. So you have to wait for a retracement. Okay, if that risk is too high, if you don't want to reduce your lot size, what you should do when the risk is high, when the market risk is high, is to reduce your lot size. Okay, that's what you should do. But if you don't want to reduce your lot size, it means you have to wait for a retracement. Let's say if you ever look at post created, okay, so you might want to wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, you might want to wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, I hope you're getting me. Let's see 5 minutes. Okay, so on 5 minutes, I think we still have a fair value gap here on 5 minutes. There's no fair value gap. Okay, there's one here. You could wait for price to pull back to this zone before you buy. Okay, you could for price to pull back to this zone before you buy. And if you are buying from this zone, your stop loss 1442, that's about 37 pips, which I think is still okay. 37 pips is still okay. So it's either you take the trade from the current market price, set your stop loss here, means you have to reduce your lot size. You have to reduce your lot size or wait for price to pull back to this zone before you take the trade so that your risk will be less on the trade. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. Give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done that, give the video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time participating on the live stream, do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live or drop content, you get notified by YouTube. Okay. So let's move on. So that's my take on USDJPY. I'm looking for buys on USDJPY. Wait for price to pull back to this zone. I would advise you wait. Okay, wait for a retracement before you buy. Okay, wait for retracement. Okay, if you don't want to wait for it to come to this zone, at least wait for it to come fill this fair value gap here on 15 minutes before you buy. That's my take on USDJPY. Wait. Okay, wait for price pull back to this zone before you buy. Okay, I hope that is clear. Mr. Abdul, I hope that is clear. So let's look at GBP, JPY, and gold. Mr. Abdul, you're trading all the pairs. You're trading Euro, USD, JPY, GBP, JPY, gold. You're trading all the pairs, Mr. Abdul. Okay, let's look at GBP, JPY. GBP, JPY. Okay. Same bias for GBP, JPY. Okay. Same bias for GBP, JPY. But I would love to see GBP, JPY. I'd love to see GBP, JPY fill this gap. Okay. This is where I would like to buy. Okay, I want to see price pull back to clear the liquidity it has created here. Okay, and if you go down to, let me see 1 hour, let me see 15 minutes. Okay, I'd love to see GBJPY still drop, clear the liquidity reside on this previous low. Let me see 5 minutes. Okay, so this is where I'd like to buy. Few minutes, please. Okay, so I would like to see GBJPY fill this gap. Okay, this is where I might want to go bullish on USDPY. Okay, then we still have a fair value gap here. So these are the two areas I will be considering buying US or GBP USD. Okay, these are the two areas I will be considering buying GBP JPY. Okay, my bias is buy for GBP JPY. You cannot sell GBP JPY from the current market price. I would advise that you sell. Okay, this is where you should have, if you had wanted to sell, you should have entered from this point. You should have entered sell from this point. So if I'm buying, let's say bullish candle formed after price fills this gap. My stop loss, I think I'll be using the low of this candle as my stop loss. Yeah, the low of this candle, which is 195.95. This is 196.26. That's about 30 pips at the moment. 30 pips at the moment, okay? 30 pips at the moment. So that's my take on GBP JPY. It's going to be buy. Okay, it's going to be buy, and I think GBP JPY might clear the liquidity residing at the current. This is current day high. Okay, it's likely going to clear this liquidity. Okay, let me see the weekly. Okay, so like I told you guys several weeks ago that GBP/JPY is likely going to come and fill this gap. Okay, it's likely going to come through this gap. So if it breaks out from this high, then it's going to aim for this relative equal high. Then most likely will fill this fair value gap. That is what I see playing out on GBP JPY today. Okay, and you can see the fundamentals was neutral for GBP JPY. You can see it was neutral. So I think GBP JPY is weak. Is weak. Okay. So look for buys on GBP JPY. But like I said, wait for retracement. Wait for a retracement before you buy. Wait for retracement before you buy. Okay. Wait for retracement before you buy. You can see price was used to fill this fair value gap on. You can see this fair value gap has been filled. Okay, this fair value gap has been filled, and I think it is set for buy. It is set for buy. It is set for buy. Let me take this GBP JPY. Let me see my stop loss 195.94. Entry 196.27. That's about 33 pips. 33 pips. 33 pips. 33 pips. Lot size should be 0.2. Okay. Let me use 0.2 lot size. Nice, guys. GJ. I'm taking a trade on GJ. Stop loss. The low of this candle is my stop loss 195.95. 195.95. That's my stop loss 195.95. Let me leave the TP open. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. Which other pair do you want me to analyze? Australian dollar USD. I guess that's what you mean, Mr. Hope. Australian dollar USD. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. Okay. Mr. Richard, you mean Australian dollar USD, right? Australian dollar USD. Varies past TV, Euro USD. Okay, we'll look at that. Few minutes. Okay, we've done Euro USD. I guess you just joined the session. Euro USD is bearish because the dollar is bullish. Okay, Euro USD is bearish. Look for sales. Okay. And join me on GBP/JPY. I just took a trade on GBP/JPY. Okay, buying on GBP/JPY. I just took a trade on GBP/JPY. My stop loss is at 195.95. Okay, please apply good risk and money management. It is very important. Do not gamble with your money. Don't over leverage, please. Don't over leverage. Apply stop loss. Okay, apply stop loss. Apply the right lot size. Don't just guess. Okay, it's very important. Okay, so let's look at the next. Australian dollar USD. Okay, Australian dollar USD. We've looked at GJ. I just analyzed GJ now. GJ, I just took a trade on GJ. We just analyzed on GJ. It's a buy. GJ is buy. Okay, GJ is buy. Yes, GJ is buy. My stop loss is at this low. Okay, my stop loss is at this low. You can see what played out here on GJ. We had a fair value gap here on 1 hour or 4 hour time frame. You can see 1 hour fair value gap, and I also think on 4 hour. Okay, so we had a fair value gap here. Also, that gap has been filled. You can see. So that's the reason for the buy. That's the reason for the buy. Okay. I think if you look at what we have here, I think this was the low. This was the low of Asian session. I think this was the low of Asian session. What they did this morning was to clear the liquidity. They know a lot of retail traders would have executed sell. Oh, sorry, buy. Most retail traders would have executed sell because they will see this as an hammer, and the next candle also closed as a spinning bottom. So most retail traders would have bought, and their stop loss will be residing at this previous low, which is in confluence with this fair value gap. So what they did, I think in London session, this candle was London session, was to clear the liquidity residing at the low, this low. You can see that they've cleared the liquidity, and I think it is set buy. That is the reason for the buy trade. That is the reason for the buy trade. Okay, so few minutes, guys, few minutes. Okay. Few minutes, please. Okay, so let's move on to the next instrument. Gold. Okay, Australian dollar USD. Australian dollar USD. Should be looking for sales on Australian dollar USD. Okay, let's start with the daily. Let's see how yesterday candle closed. Should be looking for sales on Australian dollar USD. Okay, so yesterday candle closed. It was strongly bullish yesterday on Australian dollar USD, and I think that yesterday buy was to clear the liquidity residing at this previous high. I think that was what played out. And after the liquidity got cleared, what pattern formed on the lower time frame, which will be 4 hour. Let's see the pattern that formed on 4 hour. Okay, so you can see the pattern. This was last candle for yesterday market. So we had what looks like an engulfing pattern here. But if you go down to 1 hour time frame, I'm sure you'll be able to identify a bearish pattern. You can see what we had on 1 hour. You can see we had a spinning top. And after the formation of this spinning top, I'm sure a fair value gap was created, and that's the reason for this retracement, this buy. This buy is to fill fair value gap that was created here. You can confirm that on lower time frame. Let's confirm that. Let's not just assume. Okay, let's confirm that. So go to 15 minutes and 5 minutes. I'm sure a fair value gap was created there. You can see on 15 minutes, you can see this fair value gap. You see this fair value gap. If you go down to 5 minutes, you would see another fair value gap there. And I think that's the reason for the retracement. You can see can see the fair value gap on 5 minutes time frame. We also had the fair value gap here. So that's the reason for this buy. Okay, that's the reason for that retracement. Can you see that? That's the reason for this retracement. The fair value gap was the reason for the retracement. Let's go back to 1 hour. So you can see also on 1 hour, a fair value gap was created here. Can you see it? That's the reason for that retracement. You can see the fair value gap is created here. Can you see it on 1 hour time frame? Price has pulled back and it has filled that fair value gap. Okay. Next thing you look out for is the pattern that formed after the fair value gap got filled. You can see the pattern we have here is a bearish reversal pattern. This is a bearish reversal pattern. So all I see on Australian dollar USD is technically it's a sell. So I think where Australian dollar USD is aiming for right now, this will be its first target. This fair value gap here will be its first target. If it breaks out from this fair value gap, and its next target will be this low. This low. I think this is this was low of yesterday. Yeah, I think this was the low of yesterday, if I'm not wrong. This was around 28 p.m. to 9 p.m. Nigerian time. So I think that was the low. I might be wrong. Okay. So I think then we have this fair value gap here. So Australian dollar USD might get to this zone. It might get to this zone. Okay. It might get to zone, but this will be its first target. So if you are selling Australian dollar USD, your stop loss should be above this level. Okay, you'll be above this level. You could use 20-25 pips as your stop loss if you are selling Australian dollar USD. That's my take on Australian dollar USD. Technically, please. Technically, we are expecting a major news by 1:30, and that could change, disrupt your technical outlook. It might change the direction. Okay, but technically, Australian dollar USD should sell. Australian dollar USD should sell. Okay, so that's it on. So DEX 40. What's DEX 40? You mean DAX? Let me see. That's on German 40, right? Am I correct? DAX 40. This should be it, right? Let me start with the weekly. I've not looked at it this week. This is a sell. This is a sell. Okay, this is a sell. On the weekly, what I see here is a sell. Let's go down to daily. Let's go down to daily. Let's see daily. See sell also on the daily time frame. We had a shooting star here, shifting market structure also. So what I see here is a sell, shifting market structure here. Okay, this is a sell on a daily. Okay, but before you sell, I would advise you wait for retracements. Okay, if you are considering selling, I would advise you wait for a retracement. Wait for a retracement. So let me go back to daily. So on a daily, we had this fair value gap here. We have this fair value gap here, okay, which is in confluence with this. Okay, you can see this value gap is in confluence with this breaker block. Okay, it's in confluence with this breaker block. You can see, so it's in confluence with this breaker block. So I would advise, if you want to sell, wait for price to go back to this zone before you consider selling. Okay, so it means you could look for buys to this zone. Okay, but the buys are not confirmed yet. It's not confirmed yet. The buy is not confirmed yet. You can see we have this low. I don't think they've cleared this low. If they had cleared this low, that would have been a good time to consider buying. You can see they didn't clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. So it's possible they would come clear the liquidity residing at this low. So if you want to buy, wait for the liquidity residing at this low to be cleared, then you look for buys. Okay. Once the liquidity is swept and a bullish reversal pattern forms on 4-hour time frame, we buy to this zone. This is where you should consider selling. Okay, selling at the current market price will be at a very high risk. It will be at a very high risk. So patiently wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. If I'm going to take any on that, I would want to see it clear this liquidity, then give me a buy setup so that I can buy to this zone. I hope that is clear. Any other question? I think I've attended to all your requests. Do you have any question? Let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, let me know in comment section. I think I've attended to all your requests. Let me know if you have any questions. I believe you all can hear me. Do you have any question? Any question? Let me know. Let me know if you have any question. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section if you have any question. If you have any question, let me know. Mr. Raphael, Mr. Abdul, Mr. Richard, Mr. Ebuka, Mr. Adebayo, Rotesco, Varipass TV. If you have any question, let me know. Let me know if you have any question. If you're here to give the video a thumbs up, please do. And if it's your first time participating in the live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Like I told you guys yesterday, I will be having a session on risk and money management, hopefully tomorrow by 8:30 p.m. Tomorrow by 8:30 p.m. I would be having a session on risk and money management. Because the truth is that if your risk and money management is on point, you would be consistently profitable. If your risk and money management is on point, you would be consistently profitable. The reason most of you blow accounts is the lack of proper risk and money management. That is why most of you blow your account. So now to manage risk well, you will be consistently profitable. Okay, gold. Yeah, that's true. Now look at gold. Okay, let's look at gold. That's true. How can we, end the session without looking gold? Almighty gold. Almighty gold. Let's see. Guys, anything is possible in this market. Anything is possible in this market. Don't give up. Don't give up. Anything is possible in this market. Yesterday, someone withdrew $2,500 from a deposit of $50 that was made on, the deposit was made on the 11th. It did the deposit on the 11th of June. 11th of June, that was last week. And he withdrew $2,500. $2,500. This is not story. This is not story. I confirmed it. with $50, he grew that account to 2,500. Anything is possible in this market. All you have to do is just master your system, master your emotions, master your strategy. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Don't give up. Okay, you might be facing challenges right now, making losses. You know, that person that made that money probably might have made losses in the past, but he refused to give up. He refused to give up. So don't give up. Okay, you can do it. You can do it. Your own time is coming that you'll just be flipping funds, flipping your capital. You'll get there. Everything in life is in phases. Is in phases. Is in phases. Okay, so as you can see on gold, gold tested this resistance, and after testing the resistance, it's been selling. Gold has been selling, and yesterday candle closed strongly bearish. Bearish. Okay, so I think gold is still bearish. Gold is still bearish, but I would like to see gold. This is where I would like to sell gold. This is where I would like to sell gold. Okay, I would like to see gold come fill this fair value gap. This is where I would like to go bearish on gold. I see this high, these two highs here, this previous high, as an area of liquidity that they might want to clear. They know a lot of traders would have executed sell, and their stop losses will be residing at this previous high. So I would like to see them clear, sweep the liquidity residing at this previous highs before going bearish on gold. And I think on gold, we have this fair value gap here. We have this fair value gap here. I would like to see gold come back and retest. Okay, this is where I would like to buy gold. That's my expectation on gold. Though this gap got filled at this point, I would like gold to come and retest this zone. So I'd like to see prices retrace back to this zone before selling to this zone, because I've considered the risk that if I sell from this current market price, which is 828, my stop loss will be at 950 from 828 to 950. How many pip risk is that? That's about 130 pips. The risk is too high, so I'd love to see it to pull back. I don't want to risk more than 80 to 100 pips, maximum of 100 pips on gold. So I would love to see it. I'm tempted to sell gold right now. I'm tempted to sell gold, but the risk is too much. Okay, I'm tempted to sell gold, but I'd like to see price pull back to this zone. I'm tempted to sell gold right now. I'm tempted, but I'd like to see it pull back to this zone before selling. Okay, before selling. So on 1 hour, this fair value gap on 1 hour. So that's my take on gold. My bias for gold today is sell. Is sell. But for this week, gold we buy. Gold we buy. If gold can drop to this zone, then one can consider buying gold. At the moment, I want to see price pull back, do a little retracement, hopefully get to this zone, okay, before going bearish on gold. So you can see, okay, you can see this on 1 hour. You can see this fair value gap on 1 hour. Price have tested that zone. Okay, you can see this fair value gap on 1 hour. This gap has not been filled entirely. You can see, I see these highs as trap. Okay, these highs are as trap, because this gap has not been filled entirely. Most retail traders, the impatient traders, would have executed sell after the formation of these patterns. Okay, they would have entered sell, and their stop losses will be residing at this previous high. So I feel they will come for these highs before going bearish. That's what I see playing out on gold today. So the link for tomorrow's session, for the risk and management session, would be will be posted on the various on social platforms. Okay, ensure you're on WhatsApp or Telegram. Any question? I think that will be all for today's session. Do you have any question? Some of you are here to give this video a thumbs up. Some of you are here to give the video a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up so that others can get to see the video. Give it a thumbs up. Any question? Do you have any question? I think we're done for the day. Any question? Any question? If you have any challenge in trading, feel free to share. Okay, feel free to share. Always ask questions. Ask questions. No question is a foolish question. Ask questions. It's the reason I show up every day. It's the reason I show up to attend to all your Forex trading challenges. Okay? I've been through it all. Okay? I've been through it all. So I'd like to also help you overcome those challenges. Patrick. Oh, okay, Mr. Patrick. Okay. Very Sparse TV. Okay, Mr. Patrick. Okay. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay, it appears there are no questions. It appears there are no questions. So that will be all for today's session. I appreciate every one of you for your participation. Mr. Raphael, Mr. Abdul, Mr. Richard, Mr. Ebuka, Mr. Debayo, Rotesco, Mr. Joseph, Baripas TV. I appreciate you all for your participation, and I wish you all a wonderful and a profitable trading day. Bye for now.